Greetings and welcome back, thrill seekers and lovers of dark stories. Today we will delve into the depth of organized crime in the state of Mexico, where a tale of deceit, technology, and violence has kept the region on edge. We're about to unravel the dark secrets behind the capture of a character who has sound terror in Edomex, alias the Eagle. Imagine a world where danger lurks behind the mask of the law, where a regional criminal leader manages to go unnoticed thanks to cunning, technology, and the uniform of the FDR. His name? Archer Elliot, a young man of only 23 years old who has become a living nightmare for those seeking peace in the region. The Eagle is not just a leader of the CJNG, Jalisco New Generation Cartel. He is the architect of a strategy that defies the limit of imagination. This master of deception used the technology and uniform of the Attorney General Office to blend in, confusing himself among those who should represent justice and security. But behind that facade of apparent order lies an individual whose cruelty knows no bounds. Axel Elliot, alias the Eagle, is renowned for his special ferocity towards his enemies. His extreme methods include torture and mutilation, a brutality that has marked his past in the escalation of organized crime. His goal, as expressed by the captured criminal himself, was to align members of rival cartels with his sinister interests. Today, my friends, we face the reality that a young man of only 23 years old became one of the main generators of violence in the region. How did Atzelilio reach this level of power and atrocities? How could he infiltrate among the ranks of the FDR without raising suspicions? The answer to these questions will unleash a story as shocking as it is chilling. Join me on this journey through an interview where we will unravel the threads that wove the Eagle's web and discover how the forces of good managed to defy and defeat the evil that threatened the security of the state of Mexico. This is the story of a character that will change the course of the region and expose the vulnerability, even within the institution that should protect us. Get ready for an immersion in the harsh reality of the Eagle and his reign of terror. But before we continue, don't forget to activate the notification bell. Give us your powerful like and comment. That drives us and makes it possible to continue bringing quality investigative content for you. Now, let's continue. In the dark evening of the state of Mexico, the capture of Axel Elliot, known as the Eagle, reveals the grim reality that lurks in the Northeast region. This individual, identified as a regional leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, the CJNG, earned the chilling nickname Butcher for his ruthless actions. His arrest in the municipality of Temascalapa marked the end of an era of violence and terror. The Eagle, along with his henchmen, wove a web of evil using not only extreme cruelty but also cunning to defy the law. The news that he and his accomplices disguised themselves with uniforms of the authorities to go unnoticed in their misdeeds adds another layer of perversion to his story. The confusion between good and evil becomes a recurring theme, revealing the cracks in the security system. The capture of the Eagle, announced in the afternoon of Sunday, December 17, not only represents the apprehension of an individual, but the breaking of the impunity that had prevailed in the region. The authorities of the state of Mexico, in collaboration with the Prosecutor Office and the Ministry of Security and Citizen Protection, managed to put an end to the reign of terror led by this sinister character. The criminal trail of the Eagle extends for crimes of kidnapping, murder, and extortion, leaving a trail of suffering and despair in his wake. His apprehension, though hopeful, raises questions about how such a young individual could become such a prominent generator of violence. At this critical moment, it is imperative to reflect on the fragility of security in our communities and how individuals like the Eagle can manipulate and corrupt the image even of the institutions meant to protect us. The capture of this butcher should not only be closure for the victims, but also a call to reflection on the challenges we face as a society to maintain peace and justice. We will delve into the shadows to bring to light the uncomfortable truth that resides in the capture of the Eagle, serving as a reminder that evil can infiltrate even the most sacred institutions. Let's delve even further into the darkness of a criminality surrounding the Eagle, the sinister leader of the CJNG whose capture has revealed unimaginable horrors. Beyond the use of authority uniforms and technology to camouflage themselves, the criminal cell that Axel Elio led operated with ruthless cruelty, plunging the region into a constant state of fear. Their modus operandi went beyond surface appearance. The operation of the Eagle involved reaching buildings and places where there were people to kidnap them using vehicles, then taking them to strategic buildings in the region to keep them captive. The brutality of their actions left an indelible mark on those who fell into their clutches. Once they had their victims in their grasp, the kidnappers did not hesitate to contact their families, plunging them into a nightmare of terror. The economic demand became the currency for the freedom of the captives, but the Eagle and his operational circle did not stop there. To pressure the desperate families, they sent audiovisual material showing the brutal assault suffered by the kidnapped victims, a cruel tactic that heightened the anguish to unsuspected levels. The main operating area of this criminal cell spread like a macabre shadow over the municipalities of Otumba, Atzapusco, San Martin de las Piramides, Teotihuacan, Temascalapa, and Zumpango, as well as neighboring municipalities in the state of Hidalgo. The geography became the stage for the horrors that the Eagle and his henchmen unleashed upon their innocent victims. The aggression perpetrated by this criminal cell went beyond mere detention. Torture and mutilation were methods they used against those who fell out of favor, subjecting their prisoners to unbearable physical and psychological torment. Investigations by authorities revealed that, for the most part, the kidnapped individuals were members of rival groups, with this brutality being a strategy to align them with the Eagle dark objectives. Axel Elliot, the architect of this nightmare, hails from Nuevo Leon and, at only 23 years old, has left an indelible mark on the history of crime in Edomex. His capture, carried out during the night of December 13, unveiled the horror prevailing in the region. Furthermore, authorities report that 4 members of his operational circle has been arrested so far, indicating the vastness and depth of this criminal network that has wreaked havoc in the state of Mexico. We face a reality where cruelty and impunity go hand in hand, where young people individuals like Axel Elliot plunging into the abyss of crime. This story, though terrifying, is an urgent call for reflection on the vulnerability of our community and the pressing need to strengthen the institution that should protect us. Continuing to unravel the mystery surrounding the Eagle, we know that his presence also led to the arrival of new cartel armed forces in the state of Mexico. The penetrating shadow of the CJNG, Jalisco New Generation Cartel, in the state of Mexico becomes more evident when recalling the events of last October. At that time, chilling footage was circulated, showing our individuals with cover faces proclaiming to be people of Senor Mencho, leader of the CJNG, announcing their arrival in Teotihuacan Valley. Among the municipalities and localities they claim to have under their control were Otumba, Atzapusco, San Martin de las Piramides, Supango, among others, strategic points where the Eagle operated. These alleged members of organized crime claim to have come to carry out a supposed cleanup, leaving in the air the threat of ruthless violence. The connection between this announcement and the presence of the Eagle as the CJNG leader in Edomex is undeniable, revealing the impact and influence that this individual had on the region. Violence and terror were not only part of the Edge tragedy, but also of the broader CJNG machinery that extended throughout the region. Although authorities identified at least 3 criminal groups vying for control in the Toluca Valley, including the four-letter cartel, the Eagle's presence and leadership as a representative of the CJNG seemed to have triggered a spiral of violence and confrontation. And this criminal leader, although now detained, was the key that allowed a significant contingent of cartel or elements to enter the state. The capture of the Eagle does not completely dismantle the CJNG machinery, as its armed branches remain capable of staying operational, representing a continuous threat to security in the region. This dark chapter in the history of organized crimes in the state of Mexico raises disturbing question about the authorities' ability to confront and prevent the infiltration of these violence groups. Violence does not fade with the capture of a leader. It roots itself in the deepest cracks of society, waiting for its moment to resurface. In the dark theater of crime in the state of Mexico, the capture of the alias the Eagle, also known as Axel Elliot, is not simply the detention of an individual. It is the exposure of a network of depravity and violence that had left deep scars on the region. The sinister leader of the CJNG, a Jalisco New Generation cartel, embodied the face of evil that lurks in the shadows, using authority uniforms and technology to blur the lines between good and evil. The story of the Eagle is a narrative that defies imagination and at the same time reveals the vulnerabilities of a system that should protect us. From the cruelty with which he threatened his enemies to the meticulous operation of his criminal cell, his reign of terror has left an indelible mark. The capture of this young man, of only 23 years old, originally from Nuevo León, uncovers a chilling reality. Youth is not exempt from diving into the darkness of organized crime. The modus operandi of the Eagle, which went beyond the simple act of dressing in FGR uniform and using technology, reveals the depth of his malevolence. The kidnapping operation, the cleanup announced by his operational circle, and the atrocities committed against members of rival groups form a terrifying panorama that extends across the municipalities of Edomex and beyond. The violence, deployed with inhuman tactics such as torture and mutilation, not only aim to eliminate adversaries, but to align them with his dark purposes. Examining the presence of the CJNG in the Toluca Valley and the influence of the Eagle, an uncomfortable truth emerges. The capture of a leader does not completely eradicate the threat, as the cartel's armed branches remain a dangerous force. The presence of this cartel and its ability to challenge authorities raises questions about the fragility of our security institutions and the urgent need to strengthen them. We are at a crossroads where the dark reality of the Eagle becomes a mirror of the deeper struggle facing society, reflecting on the vulnerability of our communities, the infiltration of organized crimes into our institutions, and the ability of young individuals to immerse themselves in the dark of evil, are crucial issues that must be urgently addressed. In this conclusion, we can now lose sight of the reality that the capture of the Eagle is not the end of the story. It is the beginning of a deeper and more challenging process. The fight against organized crime, corruption, and violence requires a comprehensive approach that goes beyond individual captures. The story of the Eagle is a warning and a reminder that darkness can emerge at any time and place unless we confront the roots of malevolence that threaten the peace and the security of our communities. Alright, that's it for today's video. As always, grateful that you've accompanied us until the end. Before I bid farewell, I'd like to remind you that if you are new to our channel and you enjoy our content, you can support us by leaving a powerful like and comment. Also remember to subscribe and activate the notification bell. Your support is what makes it possible for us to continue bringing quality investigative and up-to-date content for you. For now, without further ado, I bid you farewell until the next video.